Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back, KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 0.8% to 42,492. Ethereum down 0.17% to 3010. We can see LRC doing really well at the moment. My goal is to help you to succeed one trade at a time. By combining the strengths of investing and trading, we can also see SLP is doing quite well. To assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being part of our globally extended family. I appreciate you being here. When we look at ADA, I mentioned ADA quite a while ago. It was forming a very nice pattern, and we can see ADA's been doing quite well. It's just come up 9.49% just in the last 24 hours. There are many links in the description of this video. I just want to let you know that if I refer to anything, you can just press show more and see all those links. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. The investor's journey is always one to combining the strengths of an investor and a trader. You don't have to be one, you don't have to be the other. In truth, being part of each is the best way to go. I call it the investader, which is an investor and a trader. When people start off, they define themselves as investors because they're really not sure what to pick. And therefore, they get a lot of stress because they don't know what to go into, how to buy, how to sell, and they typically buy on green. They are addicted to the news, and the news is just fear-based, full of FUD and FOMO, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and FOMO, fear of missing out. They're told, I don't know by who, but everybody knows, to buy the bottom and sell the top. Professionals never do this. They're also told to go all in or all out of positions. Again, professionals never do this. As a result, many people, when they start their journey, suffer incredible stress as they're holding on for dear life. And the problem with hodling is that it's a permanent thing. People just hodl, no matter what part of the cycle they're in. But why do they do this? Because people believe that they need 1000% returns plus. They're always looking for the 10x, the 20x, the 30x. Again, professionals just don't do this. They say, I'm looking for that because I want to minimize tax, because I'll end up holding it for longer. The key is that tax is just a contribution back into society. It's a sign that you're being successful. Over time, investors become aware of trading because all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell. Traders are very different from investors. They have to absolutely time the market. And this is why investors who become traders, who combine the strength of a trader, they don't have to have a lot in there, but they can time their entries and exits far better for their overall position. They use Borsog. What is Borsog, you say, Ken? Borsog is buy on red, sell on green. This is a professional law that we put. When we look at a red market, we're really excited. When retail looks at a red market, they're really scared. Professionals become independent of the news. They use volatility for their advantage. They understand percentages and timing, and they use the CTKS method to mark up their charts to know when to enter and where to exit. They use three-way decision making. They understand that if you buy something at 10 and it falls to 5, that's a 50% downward move. But if it goes from 5 back up to 10, that's 100% increase. And a really interesting thing, if you can get 10% per week, that actually is an 11,639% return each year. That doesn't mean that you have to get 10% per week. This is all about understanding how percentages actually work. It's exactly the same as the 10-5-10 fund. It doesn't have to go down 50% for you to buy. It can go down whatever it goes down. You just work inside the market. I'll just show you how a 10% per week actually moves in terms of returns. If we consider that we would invest, for example, or trade, and you can call it whatever you want, from Sunday the 6th to Saturday the 12th, you can see the 6th to the 12th just in the single year, and you manage to turn $1,000, but it can be anything, and you can just scale as well. That's another important thing that traders understand. Say it's 1,000 and you get 10%. $1,000, you get 1,100. That means you have $100 in gain, or 10%. The annualized return on investment is quite substantial. In fact, when that is translated from the $1,000, this initial amount invested, and you can actually just roll that over, you can see that the $1,000 actually increases to $117,390. Again, this is not what we're saying here, is just understand that you can start with a small amount and actually create a larger amount. That's the key message here. And it's really good to see how things can grow. To do this, you need a certain amount of knowledge. You need to understand the rules of the market. You also need patience. Sometimes a position will turn against you. That doesn't make any difference. If you have the patience, if you're buying at spot, the particular crypto that you're invested in or are trading can turn around. Having a real wealth focus, a positive excellence focus, is incredibly important. When you look at returns like this, what is or who is the person that you become? And of course, the key is to be happy when you're making money. And of course, a very important thing, to buy on red. I share my trades with the Masterclass students, but I just want to share this with you. What I did is that I went into EGLD. And you can see here, I went in on the 12th of the 3rd, 2 particular levels. I was doing participation trading, which is something that I talk about inside the masterclass. And then I sold one of these positions. Now, what does that actually mean? Let's just zip this back. So that was a 12-day period. And the amount that I put in was this 999.3355. Note I haven't used the lower one. Integrity is a really, really important part of being a crypto technical analyst. We're conservative by nature. Just adding up all of these numbers here comes to this number, 1,339, and you'll notice that I'm significant with the decimal places. This is another thing that crypto technical analysts do. They're very precise, they're very exact. Now, what I did was just push this into a return on investment calculator, and you can see that 999.3355, this position here, this is from the exchange. And these 1339, which are these positions in here, it was over 12 days, from the 12th to the 23rd, 12th to the 23rd. It was a 34.03%, a little bit better than the 10%. And you can see the return is $340. The critical thing here is that when we look at the annualized return, it's quite a big figure. Again, we're not after these big figures, and it's important to realize that we're just actually explaining that you can move from a position like this up to a position like this and do really, really well. That's the concept. And if we look, let's zoom out here a bit. Let me just move these things away. Have a look at what this says. We've actually come down in EGLD quite substantially. We can see here, if I just draw a percent decrease here, that's 65.89% over 120 days. If you were holding here, if you were invested in EGLD, you're probably sitting on quite a substantial loss. Here, just in the span of 12 days here, we've turned a 34% profit. You need skill and knowledge to be able to do these trades. But one of the things that I've seen, especially on YouTube, you have a lot of influencers talking about the trades that they would suggest that people take, but they never share their data. I'm not that kind of person. I actually share the data. And what you'll find inside the masterclass, I'm very, very transparent. And please note, I've actually got this remaining position in the market up at this 203.17 mark. Another professional tip that I want to share with you, you notice these sell levels, this 346, 552, 440. I use specific tax software, which I found is the best in the market. The link is in the description of this video. You can see this 346, 552, 440. 346, 552, 440. This is from the tax software. This is how you understand how much profit is coming through. I'll just take one of these trades and blow this 346 up. You notice that I'm picking the lowest value. This is all about integrity. Integrity is incredibly important in the financial industry. When you look at what is actually happening, this blows up. This particular row, when I click this, it blows up into this. You can see just how Excel just cannot work. And I've seen so many people use Excel. Excel will give you misleading results for a large number of reasons. First of all, you need your fees. You need to understand your cost base. Being in Australia, I transfer things into Tether, and there are always exchange rate conversions that occur. The tax software does all this just automatically. It's really beautiful, and I pay fees in BNB. You can understand that if you were trying to do this in Excel, you would have to go back and understand the particular value of BNB on that date, February 18th, on March 23rd. You would have to understand so many different things. You can see it's really complex because that balance, February 18, was pulled down on March 23rd. It's an absolute nightmare, and because of the work that I do, I'm an expert at Excel, but I can tell you these things you just waste so much time doing. And a lot of people try to use a spreadsheet to do this. You also have all the transaction information in here. You just can't afford to make a mistake with taxes. That's why I recommend this tax software. You'll find it in the description of this video. It will just help you tremendously and save an enormous amount of time. The reason I showed you that is to substantiate it can be done. It can be done that you can turn 10%. You can actually turn far more, but it's on average that you would seek to do that. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention through reality, which is actually price, not future promises. A lot of projects will sell you promises, but the price is the reality. What we actually go through and do is to apply the CTKS method to mark up the charts. We look outside to collect probabilities, check the world events, and check stock markets. This is really important because there's a gravitational pull between external markets and crypto. Then we go back inside crypto, find the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily. And we certainly saw that with LRC in the past 24 hours. We also enhance our pattern recognition. Before we buy or sell, we have to have a professional mindset. And also, you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Becoming rich is very different from becoming wealthy. Riches scream for attention. That's all the Ferrari stuff. Wealth is very quiet. They are completely different mindsets. And when we talk about real wealth, we're all about re-engineering away from a bad relationship with money to a good relationship with money. Many ideas that we can have about money come from deeply rooted things that we've been told in the past. For example, only really, really rich people have a lot of money, and they've got it because they've done bad things. If you think like this, it will absolutely limit your capability to succeed in the market. Literally, you can't hate something and attract it. And also, if you don't have the right real wealth focus, when it comes to buying and selling, you'll self-sabotage. And that is a very, very nasty thing that all investors and traders have to tackle to become professional. So you can see that the professionals actually do everything in reverse to what amateurs do. When an amateur gets into the market, that's just someone who's shown an interest, who wants to participate. Amateurs do become professionals, but they've got to learn the rules of the game. After being in financial markets for more than 3 decades, it's really important to understand outside trends is a box that a lot of people don't look at, and it really kills their performance. Financial markets exert their own gravity on other financial markets. There's a relationship between the stock market and the bond market. Globally, the stock market, $119.7 trillion, the bond market, $123.5 trillion. And look at little crypto, under $2 trillion. Crypto is growing because it's being adopted as the next evolution in the internet. We're really, really early in the adoption cycle. We've got decades to play out, literally decades, and we've not even started to see mass adoption. You are so early. But the key is to understand that crypto is impacted by the stock market and the bond market. Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TM6. What you see here is the VIX, the fear gauge of the stock market. It's broken a level of support, it's under support. But this is the thing with the VIX, it's very spiky. It spikes up and it spikes down. Price is always moving in a wave because people are always fearful, then optimistic, then fearful, then optimistic. And the news jumps all over this and terrifies people. When fear comes down, economic confidence goes up, and we can see the NASDAQ 100 has actually rallied past a resistance level. This is really good stuff. We would expect a movement down, and I explained that in yesterday's video. We could come down a little bit more, just be aware of that. Now, why do we care? Why do we care what the NASDAQ 100 is doing? Because what you will see, especially as markets sell off dramatically, they all synchronize together. And that's especially true with crypto at the moment. Crypto is following the NASDAQ. I can hear you say, Ken, what are you talking about? The NASDAQ and crypto, they're completely independent of each other. When we look at Bitcoin's price action, and then we look at the NASDAQ 100, you can see it's closed on weekends. Oh, how slack. Anyway, you can see that as the NASDAQ came down and rallied, Bitcoin rallied, went down, Bitcoin went down, rally up, down. You can see it here. It's absolutely apparent. What do we have with the NASDAQ? It came down. What did Bitcoin do? It came down. So you can see why it's important for us to understand what could actually happen. We may see a little bit more negative movement so that the NASDAQ actually consolidates at a level of support and then resumes back up. It's looking really, really positive. And we can see fears come out of the market. Economic concern. When economic confidence goes down, economic concern goes up. And that's measured through bond prices. Bond prices are inversely related to bond yields. We've seen the bond yields come down. We also can have a look at gold. Gold measures geopolitical risk. Gold is just doing a technical bounce. And we've talked about this for quite a while, since at least the 14th of March, talking about it coming down, but not going too much further than this particular yellow area. Gold is in a long-term uptrend. Just please bear that in mind. And we can see the US dollar currency index, the DXY or the Dixie, has been rejected from this very heavy resistance line. There's also an inverse proportionality between the DXY and the gold price, as gold is measured in US dollars, because the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. And this is really interesting. There's a lot of talk about the petrodollar, the DXY dominance actually starting to be eroded because of the oil-based nations potentially swapping across to the Chinese currency. I'll do a special deep dive into this for the community because I think it's really important to get your head across. And we can see that crude oil prices have done this technical bounce, as we anticipated, have come up to about the 115 level. They're now going to be subjected to downward price momentum. Just be careful of these things. And we can also see that the 5-year break-even inflation rate is currently just hovering near absolute highs. This is not so good. The Fed may look at this and posture to the market that it's going to do more aggressive rate increases. When people first get into the market, they want absolute certainty. They want to know. So they would say, Ken, is it going up or going down? What are the markets doing? I'd like to give you a different perspective on Rule 114. Markets penalize certainty. You can think of yourself as a detective and each one of these charts as a clue or piece of evidence. What you're trying to figure out is where things will go based on the preponderance of evidence either for or against. And being a really top-rate investigator, you're looking around collecting as much evidence as you possibly can. You're just not going to stick at one thing and say, oh, okay, fear came out of the market, therefore I'll go all in and more. Recently, we've seen a bit of an inverse relationship between the gold price and Bitcoin's price action. Don't forget, everything that we do comes back to Bitcoin first. And you will say, Ken, but I want to look at my beloved alt. Why are we looking at boring Bitcoin? Correct. Bitcoin is boring, definitely. But if you don't understand Bitcoin's price momentum, you will not understand what happened to your alt. And please note that I've inversed gold's actual price action. You can see it here going from low to high. The more correct way to look at gold is in the inverse, going from high to low. I've just inversed that scale. Another thing that we can do is look at the number of shorts in the market. What do we see about the number of shorts? It's actually starting to pick up. We may get a spike. Just keep that in mind as well. It's just another piece of evidence. Please always remember Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If Bitcoin is moving up, 99% of the crypto market is moving up with it, but under different percentage movements. That's what I call directional correlation. Again, we need to collect a lot of evidence to understand what is happening. When we look at the fear and greed index, we can see fear and greed. Well, the fear index is slowly decreasing, but there's still a lot of fear in the crypto market. And we can see when we look at aggregated open interest, there's increasing amounts of open interest in the crypto market. Open interest and Bitcoin's price move together, and Bitcoin controls your alt. It doesn't matter what your alt is. It doesn't matter what you feel about Bitcoin. This is just a rule of the crypto market. Professionals know that rule and they work within it. A lot of the community members have found this max pain tracker to be a good piece of evidence. Under max pain theory, whatever the max pain level is, the market goes to the max pain level. It's trying to predict price, but as you'll see, max pain actually just moves around a lot, especially in crypto. Let's have a look at how it works. Please note that this is Bitcoin on the daily basis. We can see for March 24th, the Bitcoin max pain price is 42,000. Max pain is the price at which the majority of the options expire worthless. So that's 42,000. The next day, March 25th, 41,000. April 1st, 40,000. April 8th, 42,000. April 29th, 40,000. It just gives you a bit of an understanding. May 27th, 40,000. But you can see this distribution of calls and puts is quite different. A call is an expectation of higher prices, and a put is an expectation of lower prices. You can see in May, a lot of people are expecting Bitcoin between 60 to 80,000. For June 24th, we can see a lot of activity all the way up to 300,000. Max Pain, which balances all of these out and says this is the maximum pain point, is 40,000. So this is what we're looking at from yesterday. The max pain price was up here at 43,000. Now it's changed. You can see it's actually dropped down to this 42,000, and then 41,000 going forward from the 25th of March to the start of April, and then going forward from April at 40,000. Just remember what max pain is doing. It's seeking to maximize the pain to option holders. Remember, friends don't let friends leverage trade. Talking about liquidations, over the past 24 hours, 114.33 million in liquidations occurred across 37,276 positions. For the past 24 hours, around 56% of liquidations were long liquidations, and we can see the shorts and the longs are always getting liquidated. It's not necessarily only the longs or only the shorts. You can see the graph here, the chart always shows that people on both sides are getting liquidated. This is crypto. This is what happens. Having a professional mindset always means that we make in advance probabilistic choices in 3 dimensions, and you can see how many pieces of evidence show conflicting results, and this can be a really big headache to people when they just get into the market. But there's a way around it, and it just requires you learn a lot of knowledge, unfortunately, but there is a way. Make in advance probabilistic choices means know what you will do if your beloved alts go down, go up, or go sideways. As a good investigator, you look at futures open interest and you can see we're above a resistance line right now. The probability is that we're going up, and you can see the close directional correlation between futures open interest, this green area, and Bitcoin's price, this gold line. They're very highly positively correlated with each other. Something good for the DeFi sector as well. We can see that the total value locked, TVL, has increased by 1.17%. And we can also see, using the EC method, that we've actually overcome several levels of resistance. Crypto technical analysts don't use luck. We use research, we use investigation to try to determine probabilities. And we don't care about certainty because we know the markets do not reward certainty. As you've seen all the different points of evidence, where do you think crypto is going? Where do you think Bitcoin is going? We've seen a good leg up here. Do you think that Bitcoin and crypto are going to come up to meet resistance around the $45,000 mark? Or do you think they're going to come down to test support around the 39? You could either say 45 or 39. Of course, we could see horizontal price action around the 42. That is also on the cards. Let me know in the comments on YouTube. It's really good to have these discussions, especially with your method of thinking and your method of approaching the problem. When I lectured in first and second year statistics, I did so for many, many years. When I examined students, I was examining their methodology of thinking. You can think about the same thing here. It's how you think, how you solve the problem, that is ultimately the most important thing. If you solve the problem in a methodological kind of way, you'll reach the right conclusion most of the time. And don't forget, there's no certainty here, it's all probability. Let's quickly go through the top cryptos and understand how their patterns are actually moving. When we see looking at Bitcoin, it's looking quite good. If it can cross a degree of resistance, it's going to do well. But just be aware of its actual price movement. Price is always moving in a wave. It doesn't come straight up and it doesn't come straight down. It's always moving up and down. When looking at Ethereum, we can see Bitcoin's gravity. Ethereum is acting more strongly than Bitcoin at the moment. Binance Coin is looking really interesting. There could be some good opportunities in Binance Coin. XRP, When looking at its technical structure, it's shown a very solid uptrend. Good on you, XRP. That is really good for the crypto market. XRP must win against the SEC. If it doesn't, it's going to throw the crypto market into a lot of turmoil. We don't want that. Crypto is in turmoil already. Let's have a look at ADA, Cardano. ADA has been going up really, really well. And if you've been following my particular tips, you would have noticed that I said ADA was starting to turn around. And I'll just let you know that I actually closed my ADA position. I'll actually cover the mechanics of ADA in tomorrow's community session, but the concept with ADA from about the 2nd of September came down nearly 76%. What I've done here, I was accumulating with the Borsog rule, buy on red, sell on green, and my particular transaction came through at about a $3,200 profit, around 32% in 12 days. Like I said, I'll cover this off in tomorrow's episode. And again, it's a little bit better than that 10% per week. For the masterclass students, I'll do an LV video in the next couple of days on this and what I'll be doing with ADA going forward as well. When we look at Sol is also quite interesting. We may get a very big bounce here. Just something to keep in mind. I also like the look of AVAX. It's coming down to a level of support, and we always buy on red. We're not retail. Retail buys on green and gets trapped in the wrong cycle. We buy on red. We do the Borsog routine. Oh, the Borsog dance. And we can see that Luna is continuing to consolidate around its previous all-time high. We analyzed 8 cryptos over the past couple of days, so let's see how they're going. Sand is still under resistance. Gala turning around. This looks quite interesting. Phantom consolidating. EGLD. EGLD, you know that I just turned that one over. And you can always come back into cryptos. What we're trying to do is just take advantage of this up and down wave movement. We know the price is always moving in a wave, and we don't care about grabbing every single percentage gain. That's what amateurs do. Professionals just engage in the trade. Arweave is consolidating around this resistance level. And you can see Phantom and Arweave exhibiting similar properties, but Arweave has got more power inside it than what Phantom has at the moment. I mentioned yesterday, so 2 days ago, I said which out of these charts, I've just put Loopring in here because I want to discuss that. So that wasn't in 2 days ago. But 2 days ago, I said which one of these 8 would you go into and why? I said I would go into DOT. DOT has come up. DOT's come up a lot. It's actually coming up to a resistance level. Please be aware of that. Price is always moving in a wave, always up and down, up and down. But this looks good. We're already at a 10%. AVAX, as we said, consolidating around that support. And let's have a look at Loopring. Loopring, LRC, was part of the masterclass. I've always said that professionals can trade and make money in any market. Amateurs can make money only in a bull market. Professionals can make money in any market. When you think about this, Loopring, from this peak downwards to this particular low, came down 83.72%. If you're an investor in LRC, you would be getting smashed right now. And unfortunately, even with the increase in price right now, it's only come back to a negative 70% return. So if you put $10,000, just to make it easy, you would have lost $7,000. You would have $3,000 left. I'll show you what we did in the masterclass. More the point, I'll show you the outcome of what I just did. I just scaled out of one position in LRC. I still have more in the market, but I just want to share what I did with you. I always believe in transparency, so I will show you my trading records, and that's what I do inside the masterclass as well. You can see the price, 1/2020, good price. I sold there at 1/2020. Not quite at the top, but I don't care about those things. They're just unimportant. A lot of people don't actually understand that trades generally get filled in layers depending on how many people are there to actually take your trade out of the market. And you can see from a total perspective, there was quite a lot of money that was sitting here. So it needed some buyers at different levels and different times to come through and actually grab it. And again, this just really complicates tax. When you look at these green numbers, they're all profit that was made from the LRC trade. And this is on the FIFO system, first in, first out. So you can see there were some pretty substantial gains in there. But the other important perspective, I haven't come all out of LRC. I still have positions riding inside LRC, recording a fairly good profit. And this is why professionals can make money in any market. We look at a sell-off like this, I'm in. I love these sell-offs. I'm buying all the way down. The redder the better, which is actually a rule, 622. The redder, the better. Oh, we can speak in an English accent and say the redder, the better. That's just a special call out to my friend and beloved community member, Beardy. So you can see, even when we've had an absolute slaughter in the market, something coming down 84%, if you know how to behave with it, if you know how to actually scale in and scale out, you're going to do really well. And don't worry about what kind of numbers that I use. Everything is about scaling. You can start small and you can just scale up. And the masterclass students know these are not big positions for me. I share these things with you because it's worthwhile to take the effort and the energy to do things properly. I believe in positive excellence and a positive excellence life trend, doing everything to the best of your capability and being a good person and having integrity and decency and kindness as you go through the path in life. You never know what trouble other people have. Everybody's going through some kind of trauma. I believe the least we can do to contribute to society is be kind to other people. This is why, as crypto technical analysts, we believe in gratitude and happiness, inner and outer peace, generosity, persistence, courage and honor, fearlessness, as well as money. We don't overemphasize money. Money is the result of success. It is not success. When you do the right things, money just follows. Money is always the end product. I'd like to let people know that they can reach out to me anytime on Twitter. My Twitter address is in the description of this video. It's at StandfieldKen, STANDFIELD, Ken. And you can reach out anytime. I love chatting with people. Just to let you know that my Twitter address is in the description of this video, just here under useful links. The tax software that I use, and I used all of them, this one is the best, is right here. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and being part of our global KS family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and the link to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please seek out an ambassador to get 80% off. And you can always contact me on Twitter as well. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.